So, hi everyone. I'm going to be quick with the introduction. I'm Flora Rubio. I'm the head of sales at DEISER. Today I will be with my colleague Fede, who will be available to answer to any of your questions directly on the chat box. So if you've got any feedback or any question, please feel free to ask us. So for those who don't know, DEISER, we are a Platinum solution partner here in Spain, but we also are a Marketplace Gold partner. Okay, so we've got a few apps on the Marketplace. One of them is Projectrak, which some of you may know with the name of Profield, because we've recently rebranded it. So not for no reason, we've decided to rebrand it so it reflects exactly the capacity of Projectrak to help you with project tracking in Jira. Great, so the use case we've picked for you today is how to audit larger instances with Projectrak. And we're going to focus on large Jira instance administration that can be really time consuming and really complicated, especially when the project creation in Jira is not controlled. So now I'm going to be sharing the other screen. Can you see my Jira right now? I don't know if someone can tell me.
Yes, Flora, we can see it.
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you guys. Great. So the first thing as a Jira admin that you can face is obviously having a lot of projects in your Jira instance. So everything I'm going to show you right now will be around projects. So you will be familiar with some of the feature just because it exists for issues. But again, we've decided to focus only on project with Projectrak. Great. So obviously, if you're a Jira admin, you may have faced the situation where you want to dig into your project portfolio, you want to get more information around your project, but then suddenly you realize you have like some extremely basic information now around your project. So that would be the case. So here, for example, you can see the project navigator where you can see the basic information like the project name, the key name, etc., etc. Well, that's where we've decided to develop Projectrak, so it can help you to get a better overview of your project portfolio by giving you the chance to use some custom field, but for project. Okay, so that's where you will be able to get more information and then use those information around your project to build some great gadget. Okay, so the use case will be about how to use reporting to get to know better the instance and then to be able to clean it and set up some automation and training maybe for the users, etc., etc. So the first thing when using Projectrak will be to get into a project. Great. So you will arrive on this screen, which is like a Jira scheme, but for project. Okay. So we call it a layout. So it's basically a template of a custom field that you will predefine to get to know better the project. So for example, in that case, we will have information and custom field for the Jira administration. Great. So as you can see, it's split between different containers. So the first container will be around data source, so every information related to project. And here we'll be able to say that, okay, the big data project, the reporter is called Ada. And Ada, she's from the sales department. Great. One of Ada business goals is to increase revenue, for example. And her usage of Jira will be mainly to implement a business process. Great. Then you will be also able to put some comments if you want, like, I don't know, business processes, requirements, like everything that could be useful for the users to understand better the project. Great. Once you've put all those information, there is another kind of field I would like to show you, which is the script field that we've got here in Projectrak. So basically, in the second container, you will find information around the project, like when was the last activity across all your issues for this project. So in that case, that would be October last year. Then you will have also the total number of issues. So in that case, we've got around 200 issues, which is a great number, nothing to say. But let's think about another scenario where we would have, I don't know, like 2 or 3 issues, and the last activity was last year. So definitely as a Jira admin, then you could take the decision to archive the project or to maybe like delete it also, just because instead of having a proper project, you may have created like an issue within an existing project. Okay, like a project with 3 issues doesn't have any sense in your instance. Okay, especially if we're talking about big instances. Great. So what I want to show you here and underline is that Projectrak will help you to take some technical decision. Okay, so you could decide to unify your scheme, you could decide to archive your project, you could decide to train your user, or you could identify also which is the department who is using Jira the most, for example. Okay. Amazing. And on the last container, which is related to scheme, here we will have also like another type of script field, but related to your scheme. Okay, so those fields will display the scheme data. So you will understand exactly like if there is any irregularity between your scheme, which shouldn't be the case, obviously, for your enterprise instance. And you will also use those fields to build the gadget, okay, the gadget that I'm going to show you later. Okay, so that would be like one example. To be totally transparent, we've built this use case through one of our customer requests. So that had been used in the past and really useful for one of our customers who had like plenty of projects and didn't know how to track them and how to clean the instance to make sure like everything is unified. Great. So first step using Projectrak will be using the layout. Once you've got the layout set up, that would be interesting to get a bit deeper into the field, the custom field. So you remember the last activity I show you? Well, here it is. So obviously not everyone has the ability to edit, create or delete fields. Okay, we've created like a new role within Projectrak where you could delegate permission and assign role. But let's say you are Jira admin and you can edit them. So if you edit them, you will arrive on the Groovy script. So on this script, we can see, so it's a really short one. And we can see here that all the issues are taken into account to get the information of the last activity. Okay, so obviously I'm saying it's a really short script, but for me that would be hours of work. So I'm not going to get longer on this script part, but just so you know, it's available here. Perfect. Another script I would like to show you will be the screen scheme, for example. This one is even shorter. And here we can see that this script only take the scheme associated with the project, okay, to get to know better like all the scheme screen of this project. Great. So again, I'm not going to get longer on this part. You can check our documentation if you want to know more about the script. Also, you can reach Fede through our support portal, so it can help you with implementing and setting up some scripts. Great. So now that we've seen the layout, we've seen the fields. So here you can see how to create new fields. So we've mentioned the script, but there is plenty of type of fields depending on the information you are looking for. But now I would like to focus on the most important part when we're talking about project tracking, which is the reporting part. So what we've done with Projectrak is we've used the existing Jira dashboard and we've implemented some new gadgets. So I'm going to focus on scheme standardizing dashboard. So this one is already implemented, as you can see. But what I want you to understand here is that here, thanks to the gadget, you've got an actual breakdown of your screen scheme, but for all your projects. Okay, so we've split them into two categories. One of them is Jira Service Desk project. So if we edit the gadget, you will see in the PQL, it's only Service Desk project type. And then you will be able to start the analysis. So the first thing as a Jira admin that could be like, that could require some investigation from your side would be the fact that you've got 12 projects and then you've got 12 screen scheme. Okay, so that could be because of the business needs, no? Because like, for example, in that situation, your support team would need one portal for a customer. So one portal, one customer, one screen scheme. That could be like the scenario, but maybe you should investigate because the more you unified your Jira schema, the best your instance is maintained. Okay, so that could be like one of the example of conclusion you can get from this report. So in that case, we're focusing on screen scheme, but if you check here for the workflow, it's exactly the same. And for the issue type, we've got the same situation. Okay. So that could be like one of the analyses you could do. And then we could focus this time on the software team. Okay. Obviously the typology of project is not the same. And here we will see that the result is not the same either. Okay. So by default, your user are using the Jira's screen scheme, so which can be good, but which also can reflect that the other screen scheme we've got here are not well defined. Okay, so again, that will be worth it to dig into this usage you've got here of your project. Okay. So that will be the first analysis. Then let's see how to set up those gadgets from scratch. So we're going to go in a blank dashboard, and we're going to add some new gadgets. So if you check here in Projectrak, and we wait a few seconds, we will be able to see all the gadgets offered by our tool. So we could add the pie chart, and we could add the project statistic, for example. Put them here. Okay. So in this one, let's say I want to focus on the department. I want to see which of all my business departments is the one using the most Jira. So in that case, that would be the sales guys. And you can see the percentage of usage of your project. Okay. And then if you want to be a bit more transparent on like the reporter, you can create a new gadget. And this time you can say that, okay, so it's Ada who is creating the most projects across all your instance. Okay, so in that situation, two things: either you will train Ada to make sure she doesn't create a project instead of an issue, for example, or you can also think about an automation of project creation, okay, to make sure you've got all your project creation under control. So one last thing that could be also interesting for you to get is adding a new gadget. We could, here it is. We could define which of your business goals are the most used across all your Jira. So market expansion, obviously related to sales, is the one the most used. So maybe you should take that into account and put some priorities on the Jira project configuration when you know now that market expansion is one of the most used across all your instance. Okay, so that would be like some kind of insight you could get thanks to Projectrak. I'm not going to be longer because I can see the time is already spent. But one last thing I want to show you, because I think as a Jira admin that can be really important and a game changer when you have to update some project, is the bulk operation feature. So let's say you want to put Ada's projects, you want to put them on pause, for example. So you could decide to update her project, put them paused. You can confirm that you're going to update all those projects, and in few clicks, you've updated all Ada's projects. So that will be it. Projectrak has many more features, especially to help you with Jira administration. but I think I've shown you what was the most important when we want to unified and auditing large Jira instances. So thank you very much for listening. I'm going to pass now the mic to Jeff from the AppFox team, so he can show you how to simplify administration at scale.